Ladies, as you become more accomplished, as you become more confident, not only will you attract jealousy from other women, but often you will have to come up against the jealous male ego. When you are dealing with the jealous male ego, these are men who cannot handle accomplished women. These are men who easily feel rejected by women. These are men who feel like their pride will be hurt if they take instructions from women. I just heard a case out of, I believe, Englewood of a Dr. Clark. She was a very accomplished young woman. She has her undergraduates, her master's, and received her PhD in education. Unfortunately, she was taken out of here way too soon by a coworker, a male coworker, a security guard. And nobody really knows the details behind why. However, they do know that it was targeted. So this right here is pretty much my opinion, my speculation, and just my understanding of how some jealous men can be, especially when they're dealing with an accomplished woman. This young lady was beautiful. She was beautiful, she was accomplished, she was well spoken of, and this Dusty, this lowlife, he was only working at the school for 2 months, and he had a past history of criminal intent, of crimes. This man was a lowlife, and he was around this accomplished woman, and her being so beautiful, her being so outspoken. And when I speak about this, I'm using this as a case study, but it's speaking to the point that some men, when they are around accomplished, outspoken, well-spoken of women, they cannot handle being around that type of woman. And especially, and it's being speculated that he made advances at her and she rejected him. When you reject a man, in general, their pride is going to be hurt. That's normal. But some men, they take it to the extreme. When you say no, their ego gets in the way and they feel like, who are you to tell them no? And most of the time, men who are jealous and toxic toward other women, it's typically the type of women that they desire to have and they can't get, which are often women who are more accomplished, women who have high standards, women who have a standard of excellence, whatever that might be for you. But oftentimes it comes in the form of money, status, and the way other people treat you. Some men get so jealous of women, that they malfunction when other people treat you right. Men who are lowlives, who are jealous of women, they don't like to see other women thriving. They don't like to see women being well spoken of by the masses. They believe that somehow you are inferior to them, and because of that, who are you to say no to them? Who are you to reject them? This man more than likely felt rejected by her. He was already threatened by her accomplishments and her position. She was the dean of students. That is a very high position in a college institution. And he was a security guard. Now, I'm not saying that to knock anyone's position. That's not the point. But when you have a man who targets a highly accomplished woman, and it was clarified that she was the intended target, this man, you can't tell me that he was not jealous of her, that he was not threatened and or intimidated by her. There are a lot of men who get intimidated by women who do less. There are some men who are just as bad as women when it comes to this jealousy, envy, and insecurity thing. And because of the patriarchal society that we live in, and I'm not against it because I am all for men having leadership and authority, but when men who have not earned the right to have authority don't respect the authority that they're under, even if it's a woman, sometimes their ego and their pride can get hurt. And I'm pretty sure this is what happened with this man. You have some men, especially in the workplace, because they are jealous of other women. They're jealous of the woman who's in charge. They're jealous of the woman who did the work, who has the education and background to lead. They feel some kind of way and they can't receive from you. And sometimes you'll see this in toxic relationships too, where men feel like they should be able to lead just because they have the male anatomy. And they don't understand that it takes more than that to lead. to lead a household, to lead a workplace, to lead a business. And when a woman with her accomplishments, her authority, her confidence comes in and stands in her rightful place, men who are insecure will be jealous of you. You see this all the time in the workplace, and I strongly believe that unfortunately, this young lady was a victim of the jealous male ego. When men have so much ego, they're so egotistical that they can't humble themselves in the workplace and submit to the authority of a woman. I'm not talking about spiritual things, because I can hear it now, the chatter in the background about men and the spiritual matters. I'm not talking about spiritual. I'm talking about in the world, in the workplace. No matter who's in authority, male or woman, a man and a woman has to be able to respect that authority. But some men are so ego-driven that they cannot respect the authority coming from a woman. It's just like they feel less than because they have to take instructions from a woman. How many times have you been in a workplace and you try to relay a message to a male coworker, and if he has something against women, he can't receive from you, and he is quick to put you in your place and tell you you have no right to be saying what you're saying to him? Some men are so toxic in that way. When it comes to toxic masculinity, that is the definition of toxic masculinity. A man who is in the workplace who can't take instructions from a woman because his ego and his pride is hurt, because he feels rejected by her in some way. Because let's be real, a lot of men who are ego-driven and jealous, if they make advances at a woman, and this is specifically for the workplace and in business, and I believe this young lady once again was a victim of this. As women, if you are not interested in somebody in general, you don't have to give them your time or your attention. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. But a man who is egotistical and jealous of a woman, her accomplishments, and oftentimes this type of woman will be looked at as bougie and acting like she's better than other people when she's simply existing in her skin. Only a man who's jealous and insecure will feel that way about a woman when it is unwarranted, when a woman is not paying him any attention. But when he feels rejected by this woman, that's when his ego and his pride will get hurt, and he will suddenly feel the need to make this woman respect him. When a man is insecure and jealous toward a woman, his ego and pride is always at work. His inner thoughts are always that I have to make this woman submit to me. I have to make this woman respect me. Who is she? And it's because, much like women, when they feel threatened and intimidated by women who are doing better than them, they feel like they need to humble her in some way. This man probably saw how beautiful this woman is, saw that she's at the top of her game, that she is well respected. There's something about a jealous man, an insecure man, who does not like to see a woman being respected by the masses, especially when you're not giving him the attention that he wants. Some men, especially when they're jealous, not all men, I'm talking about a specific type of man, a jealous man, an insecure, ego-driven man, when he feels threatened and intimidated by an accomplished woman, he will not like the fact that other people respect you, other people love you, and that you're unbothered by his presence, that you told him no and you stood on that. A lot of men do not like rejection. Nobody likes rejection in general, but it depends who the rejection is coming from. When a man is jealous and insecure and intimidated by an accomplished woman, that jealousy, that rejection will hit that much harder because it's coming from that type of woman. When I say that type of woman, I mean women who are accomplished. Women are often well-to-do or level-headed. They have maybe money, status, and they have a lot of options. There's something about toxic men, jealous men, insecure, ego-driven men who only want to deal with women who see them as somehow a prize or a trophy or something to aspire to. When a man is insecure, jealous, and ego-driven, he always wants to feel as if he wants a woman to chase after him. He wants a woman to be vying for his attention all the time. A man who acts like that is very feminine in nature. And I'm not talking about this case specifically with this young lady who lost her life, unfortunately. I'm speaking in general. When a man is egotistical, ego-driven, and intimidated by an accomplished woman, he will always make it his mission to get you to chase after him, to vie and seek for his approval. And this is the reason why a lot of women, and I'm not of the decentering men tribe. I'm not a part of that tribe. I am all for letting a man lead. I am all for authority and all of that, male authority in the home. I'm all for that. But a lot of women, including myself, I understand that as women, the attention cannot be all about men. What you do and what you accomplish cannot be for the hand claps and approval of a man. And because a lot of women are waking up to that fact, you have even more toxic, masculine, male-driven, ego-driven men who are now becoming more jealous, more irate, more dangerous of women. And because of this, ladies, we really have to watch how we move and how we operate. Under no circumstances am I saying that you dumb yourself or play down your accomplishments because of jealous, egotistical men. But as ladies, you have to just be aware that there are some men, I'm just going to say it how it is, because of how much you've accomplished and how you carry yourself as a woman and the standards you have for your life, there are going to be a lot of men who are just not on your level. And that's just what it is. And it goes the same way for men. Some men have gotten to a point where certain women are not on their level. And that's okay. You like who you like. Your standard is your standard. But what happens when you have men who no longer fit that standard, men who are not, the same caliber as you or the same type of person you would want to be around, their ego and pride will feel hurt because of the rejection. And that's when you have to watch your back. And I'm not saying that you always see signs of a psychopath. This man, he was a psychopath. He should not have been on the streets to begin with because of his prior convictions. I believe he committed crimes in California and some other places. So that was really a slight on our legal system where he should not have been out in the first place. But ladies, one thing I will say, not about this young lady, I'm not speaking in regards to that case, but I truly believe that the more you level up, the more quiet you have to get about your life, the more and the less, and I'll just throw this out as a sidebar, if you are an accomplished woman doing a lot of things in your life, don't post about everything you do. I'm not saying that that will completely safeguard you from psychopaths, because if somebody wants to get at you, they will find a way and you have to deal with it when it comes. But ladies, the more leveled up you become, the more accomplished you become, the more you have to safeguard your star, the more you have to safeguard your gifts, the more you have to safeguard yourself, because there are weirdo energy people walking around here, especially if you're an accomplished woman. There are going to be some egotistical, jealousy-driven men who are going to try to get at you and try to humble you every chance they get. They're going to want you to feel as if you owe them something for accomplishing so much in your life. And it goes without saying that in this day and age, not all women, but many women seem to be a lot more driven than men, more ambitious. We're doing a lot more things. And that's not a slight on men. All men are not ambitious that way. And a lot of them are fine with that. And they have no problem with the women in their lives shining. But some men only want to be with women who are so subservient to them because that'll keep them in the control position. Some men get so upset and become ego-driven and jealous because they can't control you. When you are the type of woman who has accomplished so many things on her own, you have that independent woman spirit where you rely on a man, but you don't have to. A lot of men do not like that because they want to keep you in the control position. They want to be able to control and manipulate you. And when you take that away from them and you reject them, their ego is going to be hurt and their pride, and they're going to be jealous of you. And man's jealousy can be 10 times worse than a woman's jealousy toward a woman. So you really have to safeguard yourself and understand that as you grow to a different level, people are not going to treat you the same. Like, you're not going to be on the same category as them, even though you might not see yourself in that way. But there are some people, especially men, who will become intimidated. And if you're a lady out here, you're single and you're dating and you're accomplished, you really want to be mindful of the men that you're dealing with. Don't deal with a man who only likes you if you are low level, not accomplishing anything, and you need him for everything. The last thing you want to do, and this is just a feminine woman, wise woman tip here. Don't ever put your life completely in the hands of a man. Don't ever give him the impression that you absolutely need him. I remember my mother telling me that a man should be a want, not a need. And that means that as a woman, you should always be able to look out for yourself, take care of yourself. You don't ever want to leave someone other than God in control of your life. And there are a lot of men who prefer women who are not accomplishing anything, don't have any kind of ambition, simply because they want to control her. Because they know if they can control you, then they own you. And you never want to give a man that kind of power. You don't want to give anybody that kind of power. Even the best man, even good men. That's not the point. As a woman, you don't want to have any other human being completely over control of your finances, your roof over your head. You don't want a man or anyone to be in complete control of those things. You should always have a backup plan. That's just the way I see it. Because when you do, you don't have to deal with certain things that a lot of our parents and our elders had to deal with back in the day. Because I know, and I'm like in the middle when it comes to this kind of conversation, because I strongly believe in a man leading in every way, financially, especially in the home. Your husband, the provider, protector, I believe in all of that, the traditional values. But I also believe that if for some reason he loses his mind, I'm still going to be okay, because people change. And that's just the way it is. As a woman, you should never have all of your dependency being on one person. And a lot of men understand that women think that way today, which is even more reason why you have some egotistical, ego-driven, jealousy-driven men who, when they see an accomplished woman, you ever see that show Pop the Balloon, and the woman is describing all of her accomplishments and the things she's achieved, and they're steady just popping the balloons, and she's saying that she's like the president of the United States. She's accomplished so much, and the moment they hear it, they pop the balloon. It's because they're intimidated by her accomplishments and she's doing too much. Because a woman who accomplishes much normally requires much from her man, and some men just don't want to come up to that challenge. They need something a little easy. And that's just the way it is, unfortunately, for some people. But back to this case specifically, when you reject a man and he sees you as someone that's not on his level but wish he could have you, oftentimes you may find yourself in harm's way. And ladies, you really, really have to safeguard your life. Don't post about all of your personal details and your accomplishments. Share those things with the people closest to you. I'm not saying that doing those things can spare you from dealing with a maniac. I'm just saying do what you can to safeguard yourself, especially as you level up. All right? Like and subscribe to this channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comment section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.